Good evening and welcome to Modern Spiritualists Live. I'm Aeson Knight, Master Psychic, Tarot Teacher, and Astrology Teacher. And of course, with us is the premier UK Psychic, Ms. Hazel Firefly, who is a medium and a tarot card reader and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how's your week been?
It's been a strange one because it's been bank holiday weekend here.
Uh huh.
So we've basically been housebound all weekend because in Sandringham we've had some worldwide concerts going on.
Oh, goodness.
We had
Worldwide concerts. That's amazing.
Luther Vandross on Friday,
Uh huh.
Robbie Williams Saturday and Sunday,
Uh huh.
and then The Who are playing tonight.
Ooh, now that's one I'd go to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've all been like stuck indoors.
Right, as the world descends on you, which is a harder
Yes.
concept to come up with, to get with. But no, that's
20,000
interesting.
people.
Yeah, your streets are full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a case of stay indoors, hide away.
Hope everything works itself out. Okay, so we're doing differences of energies, and we're going to do this as gently as we can because this is a different take on a lot of current hot topics. What I mean by that is it's a different take because it's the psychic view of things. So with that, I don't know, how would you explain it? Because there's binary, then there's non-binary, then there's ethereal body energy. Does that make
Energies
sense?
are weird and wonderful things
Mm-hmm.
because everybody has an energy even when they've passed, because that's how they then communicate with us.
Right.
But people don't understand that there is a difference in energies
Right.
because if you think about it, an animal has energies,
Right.
but all the energies are different.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain. If you're born somebody, a male, and then you transition into a female, it takes a while for those energies to transfer over as well.
See, I'm going to cross debate there, and it's not that I'm disagreeing with you. I'm more so agreeing with you, but I think the energy is already there.
I think the energy, like if they transferred him from male to female, picks up a more feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Very much so.
and that's where they differ.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always, at the beginning of a reading, ask for name and date of birth. So
Right.
that then if the energy don't seem right, I can say, well, hang on, I'm picking up
Right.
a third party energy. And then they say, well, I've just transitioned.
Right. And for me, I can be looking at presenting them, and their energy is total feminine.
Yeah.
And when they don't even have to be transitioning or in transition or transition. It's just they have feminine energy. They have a non-dominant energy. It's softer, it's warmer, it's not it,
Yeah.
and we all know somebody that way. What I find interesting is when I get, and this probably didn't occur, I want to say it probably hasn't occurred in a while. Um, it's more so learning to balance it and learning to understand it more because now there's words for it, is when it's neither male nor female, but both.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
When I have readings, I'm really hard to read
Mhm.
because I do all the DIY myself. You know, the kids help me. I
Right.
haven't got a male as such in the house, so my energies come across as male and female
Hmm.
because I do a lot of male things as well.
Right. And, you know, I get, like, even though I am not non-binary, I get called she all the time. I get called he all the time. And I'm like, and let's move on in the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when, like, I answer the phone and it's a business and they're like, hello, can I speak to Mrs. Knight? And I'm like, you mean Mr. Knight? Because there isn't a Mrs. Knight.
Yeah.
So which Mr. Knight do you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, and,
You know,
and people highly, like, and that's the reason I'm like, this is a hot button topic. Let's talk about it. It's because, you know, gender and gender roles and gender identity is all on the political table here in the US. I don't know about in the UK or anywhere else. Like, I think you guys got this finished a long time ago.
I think with us, it's not as much publicized as it is with you, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Right. I think that it does because our news likes to harp on it. Like your news has other things going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, you guys have got floods, you guys have got heat storms, you guys have got problems in the Middle East, you got these big concerts, you got a lot of other stuff going on. And we've talked about this. In the US, it's very much a hot button topic right now. It's very much a hot powered topic right now. But at the same time, it is like we settled this ages ago as psychics. You know, India has had 3 or 4 genders for a while now. What's y'all's problem? If we go back to Native um, Americans, they had this settled a while ago too. You know, they had.
That's the first time. I gotta say, that's the first time I've seen a pussy on your screen.
I know. Yes, this is 110, aka dinner, and she's going to be in my new office a lot. For our viewers that view us often, yes, I have a new office. You haven't lost your mind. The black wall has not disappeared. I've moved offices because I needed a change of 4 walls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she apparently had my video desk, the desk that I work on, like do a lot of video editing, that type of thing. It is in front of her favorite perch in the house, so she thinks that's a gateway straight to Daddy's lap.
Oh, bless her. She looks really fluffy as well.
She is. She is a very fluffy girl. Like, she enjoys her foods. She gets all the treats. Now she's going to be getting all the lap rubs.
But you know, I think that's good for us with work as well.
It is. It is. Like, that's something that, you know, I kind of missed when I was in the back office. Is because, you know, I've got the 3-year-old and he's lovely and he's an Australian Shepherd. And he's very energetic and he's like, you know, pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me. But a cat will lay down and behave in your lap as you're working.
Yes. Yeah.
Much better than a 65-pound Australian Shepherd.
Totally.
Yeah. But, you know, and even animals have different energies. Like our 3-year-old, he is a ball of freaking energy all over the place. Yeah. But he's very much a 3-year-old child. It's like, what you doing?
Yeah.
What you doing? What you doing? Why? On the psychic level, it's like, shut up and go lay down. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this couple. Why?
And they even throw things at us as well, don't they?
They do, and they comment on, my border collie, not often, but when he was younger, would even comment on readings. I remember having a client that was having so much trouble out of her dogs, and she hadn't bred it up. I mean, she was also having trouble out of her man, and I'm like, both of them need training, and he just starts barking at me, and I'm like, you do too. Now he's
Yeah.
lovely. He'll come in, he'll lay down, he's gotten out of that puppy stage, and it's like, I'm just done with this. I have my routine. Don't mess with my routine. I have, to go raise something in the backyard. Okay. Last year he raised 2 possums in the backyard. I'm like, no possums, and got mad when I wouldn't let him bring them in. I'm like, no, they can go back out to the garden.
See, and they're so calming in the way
Uh-huh.
of, I don't know if when you have dealt with a customer that's, should we say, argumentative,
Uh-huh. All right, you're calling.
and
You
that
go away.
then you need that time to chill out. Well, when they're by the side of you, is instant chill out.
You're right. Oh yeah. Instant blood pressure control.
Yeah. So that's their calming energies.
Very much so. Um, and it's really good and it's really nice. So, you know, when we're dealing, when someone comes for a reading, we don't care what gender identity you currently have, what gender identity you're transitioning to. Most likely your energy is already there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it's important that they need
Hmm.
to give us their name and date of birth for us to line up the
Right.
energies with the information they are giving us.
And their chosen name. Because some people think
Yes.
they have to give us their birth name, and it's like, that doesn't do me any good.
No. No.
Example, if Hazel's birth name was Amber Elizabeth, we all know her as Hazel. Her kids call her Hazel.
Yeah.
Amber Elizabeth, my spirit guides are going, let me go see. Well, I've got records of an 8-year-old Amber Elizabeth with that birth date, but around,
Yeah.
you know, it isn't there. Like, give me your name, not your
Yeah.
birth name. We're not doing your birth chart. We're not doing numerology. Give me your name.
And I always, and I don't know how you feel about this, when you got a client from overseas that
Mm-hmm.
speak a different language, so their name is different in their culture, but they give us their English name.
Uh-huh.
And I go back with, what name do you always go by? What do you get called the most?
Right. Very much so.
Because straight away they're firing two different names at us. Yes, they mean the same thing,
Uh-huh.
but they call different things, and we need the one that they are called by the most.
Right. And the other one there, and this is really with the Asian clients, is they do their last name first.
Yes.
And it's like,
Yeah.
no, honey, I need your name, not your family name. Unless you want me to read your family now, I will gladly sit there and look at that 30,000 year in,
Yeah.
lineage of the Yens, and you can sit there and we can debate about were you part of this tribe or that tribe, and that's what we're going to talk about. The second part of the show is the questions that customers should be asking.
Yeah. That's one thing I wanted to ask you. Do you, right, over here we have our date of birth is like the
Uh huh.
fourth day of the 11th month.
Uh
So
huh.
we say 04/11/73.
Uh huh.
But with you, do you use the other way round where it's month, then the date of,
It's month, then the date, then the year, and it gets real
yeah,
fun. And luckily, our platforms will give us flags
yeah,
from where the customer's coming from. So it's easy to interpret. But when it's like 12/3 of 42, it's like, is that December 3rd of
yeah,
1942? Or is that
The third.
12th day of the year of our Lord, March
Yeah.
1942.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh goodness. So that can be very fun. It can be interesting, and that took me a point to get a hold of and go, oh, because I'm like,
Yeah.
what is the 30th fucking month?
That's why I like when the number's greater than 12, because I could tell which one is which then.
Me too. I love that. Have you, however, gotten a client that is using the Jewish calendar?
No, thank God.
That is so interesting when they give the year. And I'm like, what? How's it 465? And I had to come back to them and say, okay, I need the Gregorian calendar date, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how everybody's living and breathing, but the energies are just way different.
Well, they are. And, and then you get in trouble. And that's what I say, in trouble.
Give your camera a little twitch. You've gone out of focus.
Come back here. Maybe. We'll see it. Maybe the carrier lines. All right. So, there we go. Maybe it'll get better in a minute. Maybe it won't. That's okay.
That's okay, because I've been having techie issues all day. My internet has been
Welcome
really
to
on and off.
Mercury in retrograde. Welcome to Mercury in retrograde and living in what I called a third world country earlier today when I was bitching. Yes, I was bitching. I wasn't nagging. I was bitching somebody out over it. But, it's one. Let me see. Maybe it's the new Make Me Pretty setting. Is that better? Yeah, that's better.
Yes.
All right. So, but no, and I find it interesting that the world is currently having this gender conversation when the gender conversation has been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has been around forever.
But I think the difference is now people are not afraid to speak about it, whereas years ago they couldn't.
Well, see, up until about Victorian times, it wasn't a thing.
No.
Okay? If you were feminine, you were feminine. You dressed feminine, you went on your life feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were masculine, you lived your life masculine, you went on your life masculine. No one gave a care. Now, granted, the population was much smaller at the time.
It's just, I think as well, there's been a big debate over here at the moment. You're going to love this, where kids have been going into school because obviously they don't identify as anything.
Right.
But they've been going into school identifying as animals.
Oh, interesting.
And the one kid went in, I think she was about 15, and identified as a cat. She put knee pads on and gloves and walked around on all fours. And to communicate, she just meowed to people.
Okay.
It got to the stage where they had to call her parents and say, we can't have this in school. For one, it's not viable because the other children are going to follow suit.
Well, not only that, but it's very distracting.
Well, the card they played, and I think they played a wise card, was for health and safety. Because she was down on all fours, obviously she couldn't be seen.
Okay.
So that was one there, which was a bit like, whoa. It's really strange.
It very is. So this was at Ray College. This is interesting.
Because over here at the moment, there's a big debate going on if birth certificates should be changed.
Right.
With just the name and the date of birth, but no sex.
Okay. That would be interesting.
But personally, I think that would open up a new kettle of fish for identity fraud.
I think that it should not be difficult. And this is what I mean by difficult, because over here it's very difficult to change things on your birth certificate.
Yeah.
Okay. So, example, when a lady fires her husband, she then has to keep up with her birth certificate, her marriage certificate, her divorce decree, the court order to have her name changed, and she has to keep carrying that person around for the next 40 years. And if you've gotten 2 or 3 husbands, that's a freaking binder of paperwork you have to deal with every 4 years with the government.
Now, with over here, like I was adopted.
Right.
So over here, I've got my original birth certificate and my adoption certificate.
Right.
But my original birth certificate don't come into play.
Right.
It's just my adoption certificate that do.
Mm-hmm.
When you get a divorce, obviously you get your marriage certificate, but when you get divorced, you get a divorce certificate. But that's it. You can automatically change your name back to your maiden name. But that's all there is to it, because then, like, our driving license then gets changed, obviously, everything, and then it goes back to your maiden name again. So once you've got that as proof of identification, that's fine. So
well, see,
as weird as that sounds.
But over here, they make it difficult as Hades.
Yeah.
Like, you can be married within 24 hours, within 2 hours in Las Vegas. It'll take you 6 months to get it changed back, and then 6 months to get everything else done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're looking at $2,000 there.
Yeah.
Which
my divorce over here cost more than my marriage.
Yeah.
I'm never doing it again.
I want a prenup. I want a postnup. I want legal paperwork, and we want to go into the problems with name and name associations and getting that changed in this country even more so. So, but in my opinion, I wouldn't mind the sex not being on the birth certificate. Okay, and here's why I say that. I think that birth certificate should be evolving.
I agree to a certain extent. But over here, we have a lot of identity fraud.
Right.
So if we go to, if we go to a bank to open up a bank account, we've got to show that certificate to prove that we are the gender which we say.
Right. And that's where your problem runs into. That's why they're wanting to remove the sex from the birth certificate, because gender should not have anything to do with your banking.
That's true, but it's seen as identification.
See, and that's where the issue runs into.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you want to open up a bank account, and this is a cultural thing that people don't get, and this is very troublesome in the US too. Believe me, I will tell you a story here in a minute about what we're talking about. Okay, so it doesn't matter what sex you are to have a bank account. It shouldn't matter. A woman can have a bank account just as well as a man.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, she'll probably control it better and have less problems. However, for a very large time, it was against the law. A woman couldn't have a bank account in the U.S. You had to have a man on the account. Your father, your brother, your uncle, whoever. You had to have a dude on your account. That's why they still want to, and they're trying to impose that, well, women shouldn't have their own financial ability. Bullshit.
Yeah. And
Because
our
when it comes
banks,
down to it, it's your name, your birthday, and your maiden surname should be identifying information, and your social security, or what do y'all have over there? It's not social security. What's your government
national
number?
insurance number.
Exactly.
But as well over here, the banks will only give a child a bank account if their parents bank with them.
That's wrong. That's wrong. Like, that's discrimination. Because I know more children that have more money than their parents do.
Yeah.
Okay. So me and my husband bank at a little tiny country bank. Like, there's like 10 branches. We do this because of the nature of our business. Big banks get very lost. They get very spooked when there's like a lot of activity in the account. We'd have to have like 20 bank accounts, and that would drive me and my accountant crazy. So anyhow, we got a refund on our car insurance. We had overpaid, and they sent us a refund. They sent it in our joint names. So it said "and," just like the insurance says "and," and the car says and all that. At the time, we did not have shared bank accounts. We still had split assets. We hadn't reached the point of combining assets. So I'm like, great. So what do we do with this? And he says, I don't know. We'll have to ask the bank. So we're going through the drive-through. I'm being the passenger princess working on email or something. And he's driving, and he pulls up, and one of the older tellers there, and he explains to him that the insurance company sent a joint check to him, and his significant, and he used the word significant other, and we didn't have a shared account. How we were going to handle that? She obviously sees me in the passenger seat. Okay. And she comes over to the PA and says, well, you just have her sign the back of the check, and we can just deposit it into your account, and she won't have to worry her pretty little head about it.
I know what I would have done with that check.
Well, this is what I done. I took the check out of his hands, picked up the pen out of the console, signed the back of it, handed him my ID, and said, and here's her ID. He passed it in, signed it, put his ID with it. The teller's mouth dropped.
Yeah. But that'll teach you.
That'll teach you. That'll teach you well. She didn't get, like, I think she was one of the ones we haven't dealt with, because we have to.
Yeah.
When you have a multi-personal household with a roadmap of accounts, she wasn't my personal banker. I have a personal banker at this bank. I pick up the phone, blah, blah, blah. I need you to do X to Y, Y to Z, and Z to Z. And yes, they all agree.
Yeah.
Because we have agency paperwork, so that we can authorize each other. We've authorized with the bank to speak for the bank. But these are the complications that happen when you have this society that's set up to have second and third class citizens.
Yeah. Now, I do a lot for my friend. She is a lesbian like myself.
Uh-huh.
We go shopping together because
Hmm.
she can't walk far, so she'll push the trolley, I'll carry the shopping back to the car. That's just
Yeah.
how we roll together. But the
Right.
amount of people that's judgmental about that, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
it's terrible. But
It's very terrible.
it's
Yeah.
society.
It's society, and society's having to grow. But it grew in the psychic industry way beforehand.
Yeah.
Now we may not have the modern terms. We're going to give you Gregorian terms. Yes, they're going to be old terms like feminine and masculine because
Yeah.
it means active and passive. You
Yeah.
know, and I don't know for you, but I am seeing more active females in a relationship than I am identifying females. That I
Yes.
am seeing active males in a relationship.
Yeah. Definitely. The same as when, this is going to sound really strange,
Okay.
when you read for a same-sex couple, one of them always comes through as more masculine than the other.
Yep.
And I get asked, why is that? Just because the person is female or
Hmm.
both male, it don't mean that there's not a masculine energy within that relationship, because
Right.
the one energy will always stand up and above the other energy.
Right. And it's that yin yang effect that
Yeah,
occurs. Okay.
yeah,
It does, and it happens in females, and we don't have good terms yet for it because I don't know. The Grand Council of Psychics hasn't come up with better terms than what we have. And that is in all relationships. You always have a more dominant, more active partner, and a
yeah,
more feminine, more less active partner. And that's a balanced relationship. But even in straight relationships, I am seeing more active, dominant
yeah,
females, and the men
yeah.
have gotten lazy as Hades.
Do you know why I think that is as well? I think because there's been a complete role reversal.
Yeah, I think there's a polarity reversal with that role reversal.
Yeah, because now you get stay-at-home dads where the
Hmm.
mum is the main breadwinner. So
Uh-huh.
she goes out, earns and brings that wage in.
Right.
So straight away her energies are above him because she's the working pair. She's the one working out of the
Hmm.
pair of them.
Right.
Also, I think it's because females have become stronger in themselves.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
more outspoken.
Hmm.
A lot of us stand our grounds, and if somebody said something wrong, we'll tell them.
But herein runs the problem. The active female still expects the male to do the male side of things that society says they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Okay. The problem with that is it doesn't work that way. It's not a
no,
trade-off of who's doing laundry.
no,
If you're going to be active, if you're the one that is doing all the work, you're going to do all the work until you
yeah,
go, you know what? That's not the energy I want.
yeah.
So let's pop a break and then we'll be back and we'll talk about that and how it messes with relationships.
Try psychic reading on your phone. Your first 3 minutes are free. First, choose a topic or method. Second, choose a psychic. Third, start a call or chat. The first 3 minutes are on us. Install Zodiac Psychics now. Talk to a gifted and trusted psychic advisor.
For so long, everything was difficult because I was allowing it to be and almost finding more comfort in that chaos.
My psychic advisor really helped me stop and take a breath and look within and be okay with what was happening right now.
Having that 24/7 access is amazing. Just a quick moment to get some clarity.
We are here on a journey and we can't always control it. All we can do is be along for the ride.
And welcome back.
All right. So, what happens when the role reverses, but you're not happy with that role reversal? You got to change it.
You have, and that's what change is something that everybody has to learn about in life.
Right.
Even us as readers on times.
We've had to learn a lot of new things.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that we have stored in our memory banks, and it's like, well, I've heard about walk-ins, and you know, that's interesting. It's not cosmetically possible, but okay. Let's talk about the theory that you're a walk-in. So you decided to hijack somebody else? That's a possession, not a walk-in. Oh, your soul transferred with another soul? I can understand the trauma separation there. Okay, I can get that. And those occur. The old term is trauma separation. And it's where a soul reaches a point it can't continue, so another soul steps in to take it over. Now it's called walk-in. You know what that sounds like? Someone walking in your door there and going, I'm going to be Hazel today.
But it also comes down to, like, when we ask names, over here, Dylan is a girl's name as well as a boy's.
Yeah.
And so is Jamie.
Yeah.
When I'm given names like that, I say, can you clarify if you're male or female, please? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's because of the energies you know you'll be working with.
Well, not only that, but and this has been a big one for me, and I've been trying to figure out a nice way to say, and I need the pronouns.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to get they and them, the neutral.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to offend my clients.
I always use they and them anyway.
Yeah.
I
wait for
will
them
only
to use the pronoun.
Yeah. If they use he or she, then I will follow suit.
Right. But if they use X, I'm going to use X or mix, MX. Right, MX it is. And that's because it's language. It's not energy. Energy is different.
Yes.
Okay, I have read for many happy Mrs. and Mrs. and Mistress, and they're so dominant, honey, they could probably give my husband a run for his power tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and their energy flow. And then I look at the mates they've chosen, and they're not alphas. They're very much not alphas. You know, they're the ones debating the paint colors in the living room when she's fretting over the bills for the next month.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing. But those energy dynamics have always been there. These are not things that are new. What is new is the phrasing of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
When we were growing up, it was just he or she. They were the only two pronouns you had to use when it came to another person.
Oh, honey, there are so much more pronouns than he or she. Okay?
Yeah.
There's he, she, and then the new one is mixed. And then there's y'all. Y'all get your ass in here.
And that's how things have evolved over the years.
Well, no, I'm just saying common English. I remember growing up, you got called y'all and them a lot.
Yeah.
Them boys are going to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
If y'all don't be quiet, I'm going to sit you down on fire.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a big thing, but it's now a big thing. The reason that it is a big thing is because we are going through, I want to say, a cultural awakening of going, we are, that they are tired of wearing labels that don't fit them. It's like I cringe when someone calls me a fortune teller.
Yeah.
I am not a fortune teller. I am a psychic. I am an advisor. I am a life coach. I have a crystal ball. I can read a crystal ball. I am not a fortune teller.
Yeah.
You know,
Because over here, I don't know if it's associated the same over there with you. Over here, a fortune teller is always put in the same bracket as gypsies.
yes and no.
Because over here, gypsies are seen as they can't be trusted.
Understandable. Of course, we believe the English can't be trusted either.
Yeah. So that's why I never use that term, and I will not have that term used with me.
Right. Give me a minute. I've got an important bulletin. But keep talking.
And that's why I think, as well as energies, an energy have got to click with the person that's reading for you as well. If you can't get that connection, there's no point in even having a reading.
Right.
Because those two run side by side with each other.
Right. Exactly.
And that's a massive part of what we do as well.
Right. And if you use that same understanding that you don't like being titled something. Example, if you are a domestic goddess engineer, then you are a domestic goddess engineer. You are not a housewife.
Yeah. Now over here, they're not called housewives. Now I think this term have come from over with you. We are now housemakers.
Homemakers, yes.
That's the word, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I don't stand there building bloody houses, so how can you call me a homemaker?
Right.
But it comes back down to everybody is an individual with their own energies.
Right. It does. And it comes down to the change of words.
Yes.
When's the last
Definitely.
time you got a call on the phone that says, may I speak to the lady of the house or the man of the house?
A lot.
See, we don't get that here.
But if they always say, can I speak to the man of the house?
Right.
I really throw the spanner in the works and say, well, actually, the woman of the house pays the bills, so how can I help you?
Yeah. So, let's take the last 15 minutes and talk about something a little interesting. What questions do you think clients should be asking that they're not?
I wish clients would, oh my God, might be controversial.
It always is. That's what this show's about.
They jump out of one relationship, within a week they're in another relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of asking, does that person love me? They should be asking, how do I heal? Because no relationship is going to work straight after another if you haven't healed.
Yeah. I really wish they would ask questions like, why do I keep having the failed relationships?
Yeah.
I really wish clients, and they don't ask that. They just ask, does he love me? And then the one that drives my spirit guide crazy that they asked, is he going to fight for me?
Yeah.
Okay, it took me it's still, like, I still argue with myself and my spirit guide over this one. What do you want him to do? Go out in the parking lot and beat your boss up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he supposed to be doing, like, a duel at 3:00 with the manager that pissed you off last Thursday?
I would prefer somebody to say, how can I make this relationship better?
Yes.
Because then you could say, well, actually, you need to do this to make it better.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things, gratitude, God, especially if you're in a flip dynamic relationship, is so important. Because, I'm sorry, men are still pre-programmed for the 1920s when they're knuckle dragging themselves across the pavement.
Yeah.
Saying thank you for cooking dinner is a big thing. Thank you for taking time out of your day to make sure my suit got picked up from the cleaners, especially if it's one of your impressive ones that's got the sequins on it.
Yeah.
He's taking that extra care. Having conversations about, and this is one that goes on, this is a tool I use in my relationship all the time. What's your battery level?
Yeah.
You know, are you at a 10? And I'm at a 5, then we're screwed. Because we got 15, that's low battery.
I use the term a lot where you could see a client is so run down. And I'll say, you're running on empty.
Uh-huh.
That's my way of saying to them, give your head a wobble and sort yourself out, rather than using those exact words.
Right.
Because you know what it's like. If we say one wrong word to a client, they go straight to customer services and complain.
Well, they can complain all they want because I'm going to say all the wrong words to them.
But
Because
I always
that's
say,
what they're paying. See, for me, I think clients forget that they're paying me
yeah,
to help the situation. Now,
Yeah.
if you're in the wrong in the situation, don't come see Aeson. You don't want to call me if you're in the wrong.
no,
Okay?
no,
If you're doing wrong, I'm going to tell you, you're doing wrong. You're playing, example. He didn't talk to me today, so I'm going to go no contact over the next week. How is that getting you any closer to him?
yeah. I had one, it was a lady, she came to me and she was like, I need to make my relationship better. How can I make it better?
Mm-hmm.
My exact words were to her, leave your relationship. And she was like, why? Why? I said, because I can see plain and simple, he's beating you up. You don't deserve that. If you stay in that relationship, you're going to end up in a wooden box.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make that decision. And she was like, I don't know how to. And we actually put a game plan together.
Right. An escape plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to make the situation better, but she didn't know which road to take to make it better.
Mm-hmm. And, and I will say this, if people don't like it, you cannot get someone out of a relationship that isn't ready to leave the relationship.
No.
Okay. Realize domestic violence, it takes them 7 times to leave. Drug addiction, It's 13 times before they quit. But guess what? Relationships are not craft projects. They don't need super glue and duct tape. Well, maybe duct tape. We'll debate that on another show. Duct tape comes in really handy, but super glue, no. They're not a craft project.
No.
And you have to realize relationships are not instant coffee. You can't just add water and microwave for 30 seconds. Love doesn't grow instantly, but it also doesn't die instantly. We had an argument last night. Does he still love me? Yeah, he still loves you. The emotions and the feelings are still there. You two have to, however, fix the fight.
Yeah. Now, over here, we don't use the word fight. We use the word argument.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as a client says to me, we've had a fight, I know they're a client from overseas.
Uh-huh.
So I know that the terms they're using are going to be different to the terms that I use.
Uh-huh. And that's when you either mix them or switch them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I try to mix them, because then
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, get that, understand that. Now, I'd love to have clients that would come and ask questions like, how can I be more emotionally vulnerable in this relationship?
Yeah.
How can I get them to be more emotionally vulnerable in the relationship?
Yeah.
How can, if this relationship is long term, then what do I need to be doing now to work on the foundation of it? We never get those questions.
No.
It's like we never
No.
get the, what is my soul's purpose question? That whole semester of training is just wasted.
Yeah. The other one I get a lot is, and it crazes me, I'm with my soulmate. Do he love me? Love. You can have up to 8 soulmates in a lifetime. A soulmate don't have to be a partner.
Honey, I've seen it with more than 8, but they have a higher body count, an older soul. But here's the thing. I am so tired of that marketing. Like, I remember that marketing going into effect in the 1980s when, all the soulmate books started rolling out and, all this. And I'm like, can we just not?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the sales of the soulmate books went down. So they went and they started writing twin flame books.
Yeah.
And it's like, can we just not?
But the thing is, they've made the twin flame process sound so easy, where the twin flame process can take years to actually work out.
If then. Like,
It's
you don't
just
want to find your
crazy.
twin flame. You want to find someone that you can be happy with.
Yes.
And that is normally a soulmate. And being a soulmate gives you no extra cookies.
No. My best friend, and we are really close, we call each other soulmates because she can tell, we text first thing in the morning. She can tell from my text what mood I'm in. And the same with her. And that is a proper soul connection.
Right.
Where I've gone over there and I've said, oh, pass me that top. And I'll whip off my top and try a different top on. And she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, don't worry about it. We've all got the same. But that's how a proper soulmate connection should be.
Right. The other thing is realizing that and I'm really hammering this into some clients here lately. Like, I swear, I've had to get a 2x4 and one of those billy clubs to get it into their heads. You are in control of your life.
Yes.
Okay? You going out with your friends tonight is not going to change drastically your relationship.
No. And if it do, you got to ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Why are you allowing somebody else to control you?
Yeah. And, clients that keep going over the same, like, my readings don't change. I don't care.
No.
If it says the car is red, the car is red. You can get over it. Go get you a knife and go out there and chip off that paint. You will find that car is red at some level.
Yeah. I always stick to my original reading.
Mm-hmm. And that's
always
because it
without
doesn't
a
change.
doubt. No.
Right.
No.
And they're like, well, when's this going to be better? When you start doing better. Well, how do I make it better? How do I change this? Well, you can do multiple things. You can either start behaving and working on yourself and focusing on yourself, or you can start actually building and growing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. You can't expect a relationship to work under pressure.
Right.
The amount of clients we get that say, how can I make him do this? How can I make her do that? Stop doing what you're doing, because that's going to push the person further away.
Exactly. You know how I get my husband to cook dinner? I say nothing about it. He knows what time dinner is. He'll cook it on his own.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about learning boundaries. I'm really old-fashioned, as you know, where I think foundations for a relationship should start being built on before you're in a relationship.
Right.
And for instance, we've been dating 4 months. When are we going to be in a relationship? Why is it so damn important that you have that relationship tag?
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of the problems come from, our name tags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it comes from our name tags. I think it comes from what we think that is expected in our relationship because we see it on TV. You know, he's supposed to come riding up in beautiful armor on a white horse and sweep us off our feet and gallop off into the sunset. Honey, if he shows up in armor, he won't get even 5 foot close to you. They'll wrap him up and take him away.
Yeah. And the way I see it, why is that name tag so important? It just puts the pressure on the relationship if the other person isn't ready for it.
Right.
And that's when the problems start, because why do any relationship need that pressure?
Right.
It's a crazy world we live in at the moment.
Very much so. And it's a crazy, uncomfortable world. So what are you doing this week?
I am, where are we this week? I'm working all week. Oh, sigh. I'm reader of the week in September on Fortunica, so I'll have to clarify that date.
Yes.
Fortunica, guys, let me just explain something. If you buy a full card reading overnight, when I come on in the morning, I answer my quick fire questions first, and then I move on to the card readings. Only for the reason is I need full concentration for your card readings.
Right. And, here's the thing. We do the quick fires, and then, I don't know, for me, sorry, I'm having to do multiple things.
That's fine.
For me, I like to do the quick fires, and then I'm going to do the card reading, and I do photos of the card reading.
Yes. Yeah. I'm the same because I have a different setup for a card reading and my readings, the quick fire ones.
Right.
I use a totally different template for myself because, as you know, we all use different templates for what we do. So please be patient with us, and we need sleep as well.
Yes, we need to be human.
And what's your plans for this week? Are you still having Wednesday off?
I'm still off on Wednesday. My new schedule is posted. I rotated my hours some because I'm in meetings tomorrow.
Right.
So that's part of this yappy here. But no, I'm in meetings all day tomorrow, but I'll be on tonight, and I'll be on tomorrow night, and then I'm off on Wednesday.
You need that rest to chill for you and to spend time doing what you enjoy doing.
Correct. And I'm going hiking. It's starting to get a little cooler, so it's time for me to hit the mountains and enjoy the benefit of living in this burg.
Just send me a pinpoint where you are in case you need rescuing.
Will do, darling. All right, guys, we will see you next Monday. You guys have a great day, and many blessings. We'll be online if you need us. Bye, y'all.
Bye.